ladies, gentlemen, gentlemen, ladies, girls and boys, boys and girls. Welcome back to our channel. Inspirational Minutes with David. Yes. Oh, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications to let you know when our channel is on. We have a nice little topic this weekend. Thank you in advance. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications. Let you know when we're back on and ready to talk with Inspirational Minutes with David. Today, our subject today is entitled How I Became a Warrior. So I decided to get a little bit more personal with my little family, my little YouTube family, and tell you a little bit more about me and where I come from and the way I am. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the reason I'm the way I am, and the reason why I think the way I think. Okay. So we're gonna do that a little bit. It's how I became a warrior. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications. You know I don't get the news, but I get the news. I had to say that. I know you guys be tripping on me every week. He say he don't get the news and that the news is fake, but god damn, the news is crazy. I mean, wow. Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. Earlier this week, on the 2nd, oh, and by the way, my baby, Dava, just turned 20 years old on August the 4th. Happy born day, goddess, queen, empress, Dava. I love you. The Ukraine war, I got this earlier this week. They say that Russia accuses the United States of direct role in the Ukraine war. I'm not playing with you guys. I'm not playing. It's from BBC. Yeah. That United States have a direct role in the Ukraine war. Now, we're not going to let the United States off because they are known to start small fires with many different countries. Look at his story. Yeah, read about it. Get involved and evolve. They said multiple rocket system can launch a precise guided missiles at targets as far as 70 kilometers or 45 miles away, farther than the artillery that Ukraine previously had. So where did they get that from? That's what Russia want to know. See, we're on the brink of some crazy things that's going on within the universe. Then within the universe. They also believe to be more accurate than their Russian equivalents. So Russia wants to know where Ukraine getting this type of utility from. In April, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the United States President Joe this decision to supply Ukraine with billions of dollars worth of arms meant NATO, in essence, is engaged in a war with Russia through a proxy, and is arming that proxy. War means war. The 72-year-old warned that war means war. If you put it in the mirror, it says raw. And throughout the conflict in Ukraine, Russia has been accused of numerous war crimes and crimes against humanity. Okay. Yeah, this from BBC. I'm not going to get more into that, but we peak to play. You see, we have to evolve. We have to be, listen, we have to evolve. We have to be more cognizant of our surroundings, more cognizant of our space, more cognizant of what's going on around, not only in your family, but in your neighborhoods, to your cities, to your states, United States, the country, the world. The evolution / revolution is going down and has been going down for a minute. You see, if we don't evolve, we have to. I think about it for a split second. There's no other way but to evolve. Question your why and be a critical thinker. Yes. Goddamn yes. I'm talking to you. And if not us, then who? And if not now, then tell me when. Tell me. See, this is how I became a warrior. I started questioning my why. They had a flying jitsu. The warhead-less missile United States used to kill Al-Qaeda leader al-Zawahiri in a balcony of a Kabul safe house. August the 2nd. This is what it looked like. They call it the ninja bomb. These people are on it, man. Al-Qaeda leader Yaman al-Zawahiri has been killed in a United States drone strike in Afghanistan, United States President Joe said. Al-Zawahiri was killed Sunday, July the 31st, on the balcony of his Kabul safe house, a compound owned by senior Taliban leader. Now, the Al-Qaeda leader was killed by 2 missiles fired in his safe house by a United States drone called the Hellfire R9X, a warhead-less missile for operations, reports have said. Now look that up. It's a Hellfire R9X, X and X-ray, warhead-less missile. It's a modified version of a widely used Hellfire missile, part of the India's Apache attack helicopter weapons package. The R9X has been specifically built to kill terrorists without an explosion. This design shows many missiles, or many misses, as they described it, many misses, damage, and drastically reduce the chance of civilian casualties, they say. A situation that the United States wanted to avoid at all costs, given the tragic resource of an airstrike near Kabul airport during the last days of his withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, this flying jitsu, ladies and gentlemen, or ninja bomb, the missile is designed to plunge more than 100 pounds of metal. And for this purpose, it's also equipped with 6 long razor-like blades that are stowed inside the fuselage and deployed seconds before the missile impacts the target. Using these blades, the missile slices through its target but does not explode. Can you freaking imagine this? Can you imagine that, the weapons that they have? And this is where he was at, on the balcony. All I can say, woo, woo, woo. It's over, man. It's over. They have a missile with similar capacities, was considered a plan B to kill Al-Qaeda leader back in the game, Osama bin Laden, in his compound. The weapon is used infrequently, employed only in specific circumstances, particularly when a singular terrorist leader has been pinpointed, but other weapons will risk killing innocent bystanders, the official said. Man, listen, man, we are at war. I believe if they believe if a Messiah, if a Messiah is grown up in the United States, and he or she begin to alert the masses, he or she begin to teach and educate the masses of what's going on, and the masses begin to follow him or her. They use one of those RS-9X with those 100 blades to slice right through his or her head with no explosion. Better wake up. You want to know how I became a warrior? Because I'm woke. Yes, thank you. I am. Wrote a book called The Audacity of Woke. Thank you. Because I need you to begin to become alert and awaken as well. Now let's go on. I don't get the news, but I get the news. ID theft, fraud, prison, the wildlife of Bishop robbed at the pulpit. So how I became a warrior. I used to be a Bible thumper. You know, I used to be a fanatical, religious fanatic. You couldn't tell me nothing about, the Holy Bible. I even broke down the seminary. I'm always good with words. I call it Holy Bible. He only left you basic instructions before leaving Earth. I had done my research, but there was a evolution of who I am today. So we get fraud ass preachers like this, and I talked about him a few weeks ago when he got robbed. This happened in Brooklyn. Bishop Lamar Whitehead was robbed of a fortune and jewelry. The crime caught on camera, but the focus soon turned to him and his past run-ins with the law. See, some things is real and it's not real. A lot of things that you focus on is not real. And a lot of things that are real, you're not even focused on. They say inside his church, and this was today. I got this today. Inside his church in Brooklyn, seated a chair that looked more like a throne and dressed in a slim cut banana yellow suit by Gucci. Gucci. Bishop Lamar Whitehead prepared to deliver the sermon his followers had been waiting a week to hear. Teach them up, preach them up, not coach them up, not try to detonate their brains and their minds and their spirits to teach them something. Oh, he's raping the pulpit, raping by the pulpit. The game is real. It's been several days since the scared little congregation, Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, was robbed by 3 armed and masked men during the service on July the 24th. The he's caught on live stream camera video. The robbers believed that Bishop Whitehead and his wife released Bishop Whitehead and his wife of many chain rings, watches, and other jewelry. The total value, which is in dispute, they say. They put that in perimeter, which many, the total value, which is in dispute, they put that by the way. But it's estimated to be as high as $1 million, $1 million. And escaped outside on Redson Avenue, Brooklyn. Bishop Whitehead rose. The devil didn't want me back in his pulpit, he said solemnly. He said that God told him that. You can't take his life. You can touch his material things, but you can't touch his soul. Oh, Whitehead blurted out. Then he reacted to robbery. See, the New York Times, everybody funny, man. They say he reacted to robbery twice. So, Bishop Whitehead. And as they was going deeper, investigating the robbery, they started investigating into his life. They started going down into his life. He said, I'm a miracle. I'm not supposed to be here today, he said from the altar on Sunday. Everybody wants to talk about what the tabloids are talking about and forget about the miracle. That's what he said. So he been interviewed, and come to find out, in Brooklyn, Bishop Whitehead roots run deep. His father was killed June the 14th, 1978. Police officers stopped the motorist for having a suspended license. He protested. A table of fruit was overturned and some officers arrived. A big man with a gun on his hip approached. His name was Arthur Miller, the driver's brother, and a respected businessman in the neighborhood, leading job fairs and founding community groups. Push come to shove, he get into it with the police, and they put Mr. Miller in a chokehold. He collapsed during the news accounts at the time, foaming at the mouth when officers loaded him into the squad car. His legs were sticking out a window when pulled away, and he was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. Now, that's Whitehead, Bishop Whitehead's father. So, then they go into Whitehead, Bishop Whitehead, they go into his story. His story. They said, growing up as a young man on the streets of Brooklyn was not easy. The bishop would write on his church's website years later, being raised in a single-parent home without a father and expected to survive in a world that was designed for him to fail in. But then they start going into his history. As he did not fail, he attended, Eastern New Mexico University, where he studied accounting, videography, and returned to Brooklyn, where he went to work as a mortgage broker in Manhattan. But soon after, he would set his life on a much different course. In 2005, a woman called the Suffolk County Police Department and said that someone had bought a motorcycle in Brooklyn in her name using all of her personal information. A few days later, an officer pulled over a man driving the same motorcycle at the traffic stop. The driver was 27-year-old Lamar Whitehead. So as they dig deep, as they uncovered a lot of things, using a personal data he pulled from her computer, he was stealing and he was defrauding people. And what followed was a lengthy investigation covered by the police, described as a sprawling identity theft and fraud operation set up and run by one person, Mr. Whitehead, whose girlfriend had access to customers' credit reports through her job in a Long Island car dealership. They say he was living the high life. He was still working as a mortgage broker out of an office in the Empire State Building in 2005 with a symptom conductor named Maximo Dorman and his son, Julio Bragdio Young, in his office and asked them to help close on a brownstone. He did that, right? He helped them close. And then Mr. Whitehead reached out to the elder client privately with a business proposal. If you loan me 200 G's, Ms. Whitehead explained, I can pay you back in a month with an extra $25,000 on top of it, right? The man trusted him. Loaned him the $200,000, right? Right? He never got paid back. He thought he was guaranteed to make money on it. He went to his family thinking that he was going to get $225,000 up to $200,000 that he loaned out. So the real hammer came in 2008. Whitehead trials that had finally arrived for the identity theft charge. Prosecutors spent several days laying out their case, linking Mr. Whitehead to crimes through phone records and evidence found in his house and his car. He was convicted of 17 counts, mostly identity theft, and sentenced to 10 to 30 years in prison. When a lawsuit brought by the symptom conductor was filed, Ms. Whitehead served his copy in Sing Sing Correctional Facility. The lawsuit led to a judgment for the conductor of $306,000. 5 years later, July 2013, Mr. Whitehead was released with a glowing, they say, behavioral record. And as soon as weeks later, the leaders of Tomorrow Ministry was born, with the support of 43 people who believed and met in his home for Bible study. You see, the brother said he had a calling. The brother's good with words. You know, they have soothsayers. Snake oilsman. Oh, it's been doing that for a minute. It's been going on for a long time. Mr. Bishop Whitehead is still up to his tricks and shenanigans today. I brought this story up again. Here he is again. Because, man, this is why I became a warrior. I had to, for buffoonery like this. You have to be a critical thinker. You have to question your why. He was telling people the reason why he have all the jury on, because he not only does he make money as a bishop, the court says it's unclear how he makes his money. But court feelings suggest it does not seem to be working very well. In 2019, Bishop Whitehead stopped making his monthly payments on a Mercedes-Benz and a Range Rover in New Jersey. According to a lawsuit, they ended up with a $68,000 judgment against the brother. The same year, he wrote a $164,000 check to the company that built his home in Paramus, New Jersey. It bounced, according to the lawsuit. In 2020, when a woman had recently visited the church, was recovering from surgery, Bishop Whitehead offered to help her buy a new home. The woman, Pauline Anderson, sent him 90 grand. 90 grand. 90 grand that she would draw from a retirement account, according to the lawsuit. He said, I'm a man of integrity. And you will not lose, though he told the woman. Again, soothsayer, snake oil. He continued, everybody sues people. And from here on out, it is what it is, he said. My church was robbed, I was robbed, I'm a victim. Everybody's a victim. And he out there church people like this. See, here's the deal. Here's the deal. And how I became a warrior. We're so consumed. We're so consumed in things. Let me tell you something. You put a rat in a cage and give it 2 bottles. One is just water, and one is water laced with heroin or cocaine. You feel me? You did. The rat will almost always prefer the drug water, and almost always kill itself in a couple of weeks. This is our theory of addiction. Now, some few people studied this in the 70s, and they came along in the 70s and said, well, hang on. We are putting the rat in an empty cage. It has nothing to do, right? Let's try this a bit differently. So they built a rat park. And the rat park is like heaven for rats, right? Everything a rat could want is in the rat park. Lovely food, lots of sex, other rats to befriend, colored balls, plus both water bottles, one with water and one with drug water. But here's what's fascinating. In Rat Park, they don't drink the drug water. They hardly use it. None of them overdose. None of them use it in a way that looks like a force, a compulsion, or an addiction. And then the people who were studying this Rat Park shows that both the right wing and the left wing theories of addiction are wrong. The right wing theory is that it's a moral failing. You're a hedonist, a person who loves pleasure. You party too hard. The left wing theory is that it takes you over. Your brain is hijacked. Now, the scientists who were studying this says that it's not your morality, it's your brain. It's your cage Your brain is your cage. Addiction is largely an adaptation to your environment or your milieu. Now, we created here in the world today a society where significant numbers of us can bear to be present in our own homes. Significant numbers of us can bear to be present not only in our own homes, but in our own lives, without being on something. Drink, drugs, sex, shopping, even our phones. Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know that you were addicted? And you want to know how I became a warrior? You see, we created a hyper-consumerist, a hyper-individualist, individualist, isolated world that is, for many of us, more like the first cage than the bonded, connected cage or cages that we need. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. It's not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. Our whole society, the engine of it, is geared toward making us connect with things, not people. We no longer focus on bonding with other people. We now bond with stuff. In fact, we're trained from a young age to focus our hopes, dreams, and ambition on things to buy and consume. Drug addiction is the subset of that. Now listen, how I became a warrior. You see, I used to be afraid of many things. I ran for fear, fake expectations appearing real, so it controlled me. Until I learned to hold fear right here in my hands, like a newborn. Listen to it, but not give in. Honor it, but not worship it. Fear cannot stop me anymore. I walk with courage into the storm. I still have fear, but it does not help me. Once I was ashamed of who I was. I invited shame into my heart. I let it burn. And it told me, I'm only trying to protect your vulnerability, David. I thanked shame dearly and stepped into life anyway, unashamed, with shame as my lover. Once, I used to have a great sadness buried deep inside of me. I invited it to come out and play. I wept in oceans. My tear ducts ran dry. And I found joy right there, right at the core of my sorrow. It was a heartbreak that taught me how to love. You see, once I had anxiety, a mind that wouldn't stop, thoughts that wouldn't be silent, so I stopped trying to silence them. And I dropped out of the mind and onto Gaia, the earth, into the mud, where I held strong like a tree, unshakable, safe. Once anger buried and burned in the depths within me. I called anger into the light of myself. I felt a shocking power. I let my heart pound and my blood boil. I listened to it, finally, and it screamed, respect yourself fiercely now. Speak your truth with passion. Say no when you mean no. Walk your path with courage. Let no one speak for you. Anger became an honest friend, a truthful guide, a beautiful wild child. You see, once loneliness used to cut deep. I tried to distract and numb myself, ran to people and places and things, even pretended I was happy. But soon I could not run anymore. And I tumbled into the heart of loneliness. And I died. And I was reborn. I died. And yes, I was reborn into exquisite solitude and stillness that connected me to all things. So I was not lonely anymore, but alone with all life. My heart one with all other hearts. You see, once I ran for difficult feelings, hard, complicated feelings. Now, they are my advisors, confidants, friends, cohorts, and they all have a home in me. They all belong and have dignity. I am sensitive, soft, fragile. My arms wrap around all my inner children within me, and my sensitivity, power, and my weakness, or my fragility and unshakable presence in the depths of my wounds and what I had named darkness. I found a blazing light that guides me in a battle. I became a true warrior. And I turned towards myself. And I began to listen to self. That's by Jeff Foster, how I became a warrior. And those same steps is how I became a warrior in life. You have to. You must do that. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications. Hit the like and share. Hit the like and share button. Oh, buy the book. Oh, you thought I wasn't even gonna talk about that thing. Yeah, I'm talking about it. Buy the book. Buy the book. The audacity awoke. The audacity awoke. Hit the like and share. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notifications. Let you know that our channel is on. I love you because I first love me. And in the process of loving me, I love you. And when you love you, you love me. In return, we love the world, the people who are evolving. How I became a warrior because I had to fall in love with self, put self in solitude, and learn to love myself. You can do it as well. You're warriors. Yes, you are. I believe in you. And I love you. And until next time, know that we're coming back. Remember, this is the weekend. I hope you have been weakened or days in a week, days from the weekend. I love you. I love you in truth. Peace.